The Stack. People, Business, Technology. With Dan Tomaszewski of Everything MSP.
Hello, everybody. Dan Tomaszewski here. Welcome to another edition of The Stack, where we focus on people, business, and technology. Now, today we're going to talk about DMARC. Understanding and utilizing DMARC is crucial for MSPs to protect their clients from email-based threats and to increase their email deliverability. Now, this is an incredible opportunity for MSPs to enhance their service offering and to create a new revenue stream. With recent changes by email providers, it affects overall email inbox delivery, and MSPs need to stay ahead of the curve. And I'm very excited to bring in my guest here. I've got Mike Anderson with Easy DMARC, and there is Mike. How you doing today, Mike?
Hey, doing well, Dan. Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you again. The world of DMARC continues, right? It's certainly not a one and done type scenario when the email providers had implemented, new procedures and such, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievably impactful, and the market is extremely hot right now. People are rushing to the service as fast as possible. MSPs are finding out their ticketings are going way up from their customers. Yeah. Why is my email not working? And we all know whether it's your responsibility or not as an MSP, it's all going to fall on you.
Right. I mean, most MSPs, work hard to tell their clients that, anything technology related. I mean, I don't care what it is. We are here to serve you, and we own everything technology wise. So regardless of, if services are, maybe with a third party or not, we as MSPs must still get involved and make sure that, we're staying ahead of that curve. Before we jump in, maybe you could give a quick overview of you and your role at Easy DMARC.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of our indirect business globally at Easy DMARC. I'm the channel sales director for the indirect model, and I've got a team that works for me all across the world in acquisition, in resell, as well as growing and maintaining the accounts. And so I handle our global business from the indirect side. Been in outsourcing and technology and SaaS for about 25 years. Got a little bit of, less hair going on. So, a little bit of gray around the side. So been around the block for a while. And so, yeah, very familiar with the business.
Yeah. Like I say is, I've been in the IT channel much longer than I care to admit, but I think it shows, right here, it's gone.
Yeah.
So, besides having a couple of teenagers, clearly IT has a major impact on that. So let's jump into DMARC. Let's talk a little bit about how the recent changes by email providers have really had a major effect and impact on inbox deliverability. And what can MSPs do to adapt to this?
Yeah, so the whole thing is the word that you just mentioned earlier, deliverability. Deliverability for the last 25 years has been an afterthought unless you are a very, high velocity niche marketer, email marketer sending out tens of millions or hundreds of millions of emails. Deliverability was never at the top of, many people's minds. Over the last year or so, that's really come to the forefront with these changes. And so what ended up happening is when DMARC went from optional to mandatory, a business's deliverability, their ability to get the email all the way into the inbox without proper configuration has gone down. And so that is can be a severe business impact to an MSP's end customer. And traditionally, you weren't tasked with deliverability. You were tasked with, is the email up or down? Is it secure? Do some spam filtering and some virus filtering. But, what is this deliverability into the inbox and how is that affected? Well, with DMARC not being configured correctly and with these new standards, the email service providers are punishing the sender, which is the MSP's end customer, and diminishing that ability for that email to get into the inbox. And when you think about it, that's a big business impact. General communications can be affected. We know email marketing is really taking a massive hit. And then, of course, business invoicing, the lifeblood of most businesses, which is your finances. Invoicing has taken a massive hit also because it's considered bulk sends. And so really, as an MSP, this is a new category that was, used to be an afterthought. It should be at the top of your mind now because, so many businesses run on, virtual or email communication, getting their messaging across, or getting their billing and partner invoicing, all of that, going both directions. And so, what used to be an afterthought with an MSP now has moved to the front of the line in terms of, responsibility, because the MSPs you're seeing now, your MSPs are now starting to get all these tickets and requests. Why is my email not working correctly? Why is it all of a sudden going into spam at overwhelming rates? What is this deliverability, issue that we're seeing? And so MSPs need to get up to speed very quickly on what the DMARC protocol is and what deliverability means.
Yeah, and I think the key is, most MSPs operate as a proactive technology management provider, right? The goal of an MSP is to, and actually I'll back up a little bit here, but in the old days, that we both remember, IT service providers would sit back and wait for the client to have issues in order to make money. But and this is not new by any means, but MSPs, had a major change in what that looked like. Where you try to be proactive to ensure that they don't have issues, and you try to find issues before, like those small issues, before they grow into larger issues that can have a major impact on the client's business. I always call it the crystal ball approach to managing IT versus the magic 8 ball. And and I always indicate that, granted, there is no magic wand. Technology isn't black and white. There's many shades of gray in between that have an impact on it, right? And so as an MSP, it is the responsibility of the MSP to be proactive, and don't wait for the client to be coming to you and saying, hey, we're having all kinds of email deliverability issues. We're hearing concerns of security in relation to email, and or the fact that, hey, we've been waiting for an email from a client, and we find out it's in the junk mail folder or spam folder, and that can have a big impact on their business. Yeah, it's one thing if it's literally junk mail, but if it's a legitimate email that the client needed because it's affecting how they handle that client experience, it's serious, right?
Yeah. And we're really seeing all of those scenarios play out in real time, with, MSPs coming to us saying, hey, our customers all of a sudden experiencing all these issues. And, I was on the IT operator side myself at one time, sat in the MSP chair. There's nothing worse than getting that call. Why didn't you know this? What were you doing? Are you asleep at the wheel? This is all relevant to today's political environment. Are you asleep at the wheel? Nobody wants to get that call. And so,
Right.
you need to really have some type of DMARC practice and analytics in place so that you can get in front of those conversations and be aware before the customer ever calls you. And that's the value of using a program, an overall program like an Easy DMARC. You'll have heads up capabilities before the customer even notifies you, hey, there's a problem, let's get it fixed, before the customer, picks up that phone. You're talking about, real dollars and real business value at stake. And there's nothing worse than, the customer, putting in a call like that to you, and it really presents some risk to your business, right? The risk that the MSP will go somewhere else, or that somebody will get a foothold in your account And we all know when somebody else gets a foothold in your account, what can happen. They can jump around and take categories from you. So this is really reducing the risk of, MSPs not being prepared of an issue that's very critical right now.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with the media, when it reaches the media, right? And if a client hears about a particular media story, whether it's security related, issues with email, they're going to be reaching out to the MSP, and the last thing you want to do, like you said, is have that happen. Or if they're getting inbound marketing calls from a provider that maybe specializes just in this particular category, and like you said, I mean, they could come in and it could end up being a Trojan horse that a MSP calls on your client and says, hey, have you ever experienced issues with email deliverability? Do you have concerns about email security? Sure. Yeah, of course we do. Let's talk. But you already have an MSP, right? So that gets into a scenario where they could come in there and say, hey, we can help you with this. And then your client's calling you and saying, hey, I need you to talk to so-and-so because they're going to implement this, right?
That's got to be an MSP's worst nightmare, and this is really where, a lot of times the IT operator, the MSP, can be so heads down focused on what's right in front of them, responding, putting out fires, that they don't see what's coming down the road. They don't realize that they're standing on the track and the light is coming. And it's going to run you over if you don't get on board. And this is an issue that cannot be avoided under any circumstances, no matter what the MSP knows, no matter what the customer knows. This is a new protocol. It is being enforced. It went from optional to mandatory. So the customers have to have it. And so this is really a category that MSPs need to add to their line of business to stay competitive. And we have a lot of messaging around how MSPs can do that.
So how about, we talked a little bit about, those inbound calls. Let's look at it from a lead gen perspective. How can an MSP use this as an opportunity to drive new business for them?
Yeah, great question. I mean, solving for DMARC, yeah, that's okay. Making money solving for DMARC, that's brilliant, right? And
Yeah.
So our program is not just a platform, it's an overall program to solve for DMARC, quickly get the MSP up to speed and training and knowledge and transfer and usability, but most importantly, how to go market it and make some money solving for DMARC. And so we have sales enablement tools built into the platform that the MSP can, for example, create a DMARC as a services page, like they have with their firewall page or their security page or their backup page, and any other service that they offer. You can create our DMARC services page, and then you can embed some special tools that we have in the platform that will allow prospects to come in and check their risk assessment on their domain scoring as it relates to DMARC. And so what the customer will do is check their own domain, get a risk assessment back. And a lot of times it's like what we see: red, low scores, blaring, flashing, you're at risk, solve this problem. And so our platform has the unique embed feature that allows the prospect to go, hey, I need to solve this problem. When they click on that button, it redirects them right back to the MSP's website where their lead form is. The MSP captures that lead and just got a deal. And so, we don't only enable you to solve for DMARC, but most importantly, go monetize it in multiple ways through marketing, through sales enablement, through lead capture tools built into our platform to embed in the service provider's website. We really want the service provider to go monetize this solution.
In the perfect world, an MSP should include this as part of their stack, right? I mean, it shouldn't be an a la carte. I mean, it's not one of those things that you could use this, you need it. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, the MSP models, and I speak to thousands and thousands of MSPs a year, probably in the 19, 20 months I've been here, spoken to, coming up on 2,000 plus MSPs. And so I hear all the models. Most of the models have now become standardized in about three categories. One, just an overall model. It's included. You have some big high number per month, and everything's included in there. And there's, of course, margin in there to make a profit every single month. That's one model. And then there's the package model, and typically there's some light items built in to that. And then there's the old model, the just pick your buffet, and we'll add it up. Yeah. And that's kind of the old model, and that's kind of gone away to a large degree. But with this program, it allows you to incorporate any of your monetization strategies, our platform, into your monetization strategies, and go to market really however you see is best fit for your area.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, from a lead generation perspective, I mean, it certainly can be that opportunity for, foot in door, where, if you're going out there and you're trying to push everything, a fully managed plan, you might, hear crickets. But if you get more granular into a specific pain point such as this, then you capture their attention. And, you can start that conversation and then dig deeper and learning more about maybe what other pain points there are, and take it from, a specific, issue related to email deliverability to a fully managed opportunity. And those are the great ways to do that.
Yeah,
So,
we always believed that, when I was in the service provider side, that just get a foothold in the account and then start hopping lily pads once you're in there to take market share. And so this is a great way to do two things for your service providers. Number one, go get additional revenue and profitability with your current customers, because this is a new protocol and it has to be enforced. So there is no, maybe we'll think about it. They're going to pay you now, or they're going to pay you later, but they're going to pay you either way because this has to be done. So that's one thing. And then number two, with our prospecting tools and marketing systems built into the program, you can go get net new business. And if you've ever looked at the statistics, when somebody buys, about 80% of buyers will do almost all of their research online before they ever reach out and contact somebody. So if you don't have the appropriate information available for them at the time that they're doing their research, they're more likely to skip over you and go to somebody that does have the information that they're looking for. So we provide the IT operator that information. So when somebody's looking for DMARC services, they can come in and capture their risk assessment and say, man, we need some work. Let me read about this service provider's, DMARC's services offering. Oh, okay. I feel comfortable. I see my risk assessment. Let me reach out and contact them, and you've done it. I've done it when I'm looking for a new TV or a new car. I'm on the websites researching before I ever walk into the store. I've already narrowed it down to just about exactly what I want, and then want to get the details from the provider. And so we enable the MSPs to do the same thing. Give the customer what they want in terms of research and marketing, to then be able to make a confident decision. Hey, this is the provider for me. They have the tools that I want.
yeah. Yeah. And, we've talked a lot about in our calls, our weekly calls, about how, you need to have enough margin in your services where, as new solutions come out, you can slide them in and provide it to the client. And then, yours plan, you will then increase your rates to then be able to accommodate new things that come up, because what worked yesterday isn't necessarily what's going to work today and tomorrow. So we need to be, prepared from a margin perspective to be able to say, we're going to slide this in, and then new clients, you can offer a new level, have a higher price, and, and you're covered. So it's certainly something that MSPs should, automatically add into their stack, part of their service offering, and but also, again, using it as an opportunity to be able to drive new business. So let's talk real briefly, what does the process look like for an MSP that's interested in in easy DMARC services? What steps do they take to learn more? Is it complicated? Is it easy? What does all that look like?
Well, the name is Easy DMARC, so this is not difficult DMARC. So we definitely make it easy, and we automate a lot of the process. So of course somebody can get on with us and do a demo and get kind of some of the, nuts and bolts and see it visually. But really, we recommend a trial. And with our trial, we really send tons of documentation and training and knowledge base and feature guides and installation guides. And we give the IT operator everything up front to self-train, self-actuate and self-launch while they're on the trials. We give, dozens of installation training videos that will show the operator how to use and install every single feature on the platform. The platform has what we call feature guides built in. So if they're ever using a feature, don't know what they're doing, they can click on a little mark that will open up the documentation panel and say, hey, this is what this feature is doing. Here's a link to the training video. Here's some additional features, best practices, detailed technical guides. I mean, we really put all the information on how to use the platform up front in the MSP operator's hands, so that there's no, complex training or back end, installation that they're not familiar with. And so a few repetitions and they've got it down. I give them everything up front to know how to use the platform, so that generally the uptake and knowledge transfer and capabilities, having a really good capability to use the platforms generally just a few days. And so once you've done that, the trials for a couple weeks, and we don't solve all the problems on the trial, but after a few days, you work a few situations, you go, oh, okay, I've got this, and then you're ready to convert, and we make that process seamless also.
Now, I got word that you have a special offer for Everything MSP members. Can you give a little more information about that?
We do have a special offer. So after your free 2-week trial, if you convert and want to start on the program, we are going to give you your first month free. And so basically it's like using the platform for 6 weeks. So this allows you to do several things. Know how to use the platform, convert it. You won't be charged for your first month, but during that first month, you can get your practice up and start selling it to your internal customer base while getting your strategy to go market to the outside prospects. And so it's a really great way to onboard without incurring, some additional costs, and get your practice up to speed and at the same time.
Excellent. And for anybody that wants to learn more about EasyDMARC, of course, you can go directly to easydmarc.com. Additionally, if you go to everythingmsp.com, you can search for EasyDMARC, and we have a lot of great information on our website. You can reach out to them directly and so on. It's a great opportunity to learn more that way. As we sign off, any parting words, Mike?
Hey, EasyDMARC, we make it easy.
There you go. All right, Mike, thank you so much for being here today and helping to educate about DMARC. Everybody, thank you for your time. And until next time, have a great day, and we'll talk to you all soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Stack.